Thank you for joining us at This Is a TV Football Edition. Today's a really good day for me. I'm feeling energized, I'm feeling hopeful, I'm feeling like my old self again because I'm seeing my team finally looking like our old selves again. And I'm not going to bring the past back into the present or the future. We're going to let bygones be bygones, and we're going to go forward with this new setup, this new management team and structure. We're going to go forward with Micheal Carrick. Now, before I get into my game analysis, I want to say something to you guys. Just before the game between the Manchester derby, something came up on my feed in my algorithm. It was a masterclass with Steve Holland from about 5 years ago. And he was doing a tactical breakdown of the Chelsea team, of which he was a part. I think it was the Conte team, and how similar they were to the Pep Guardiola Manchester City and the Jurgen Klopp Liverpool, the winning Liverpool that Jurgen Klopp had. And let me tell you something, man. This was just before the game. I think I watched this on Friday. And I was so impressed by Steve Holland. Of course, I had no reason to pay attention to Steve Holland before now. But I was so impressed watching that. And after watching Steve's breakdown, and this was 5 years ago, this video, for some reason, I had a quiet, positive expectation of this game. And truth be told, I had a quiet, positive expectation of Carrick going into this game. Carrick gave me that feeling that I had, wrongfully so, may I add, about Frank Lampard when he went into management and Steven Gerrard. I felt like they were good stock, they were good characters to be the dugout. So I've always had this feeling about Carrick. He seems like a level-headed, structured person. And I was very happy when we made the decision to go with him instead of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I could not have dealt with that appointment. So with that being said, congratulations to Manchester United. I'm not going to get carried away and say we're back and all of that. But this was a huge stepping stone for all the Reds everywhere across the globe. And we're very hopeful and looking forward to big things to come in the near future. Now let's get to the game. The Manchester derby, where we hammered City 2-0. Could have easily been 5 or 6. All right? So here we go. Let me tell you something. This was not just a Manchester derby. This was structure. This was discipline. This was Manchester United looking like a team that actually knows what it's doing again. United 2, City 0. Brian and Bruno, Patrick Dorg, Old Trafford was rocking. City looked like a team that had no plan B, and they're just not like they had no way out. Now let me bring you through progressively from start to finish and show you what people are actually, why people are calling this a Micheal Carrick tactical masterclass. One of the first things that Micheal did with the team was fix the spacing. It was fixing the shape, the distances between players. We didn't look like 11 individuals. We looked like a unit. And that matters against a team like City, because City's biggest strength isn't just possession. It's that they manipulate your shape until you break. They drag you wide, they overload zones, they bait pressure, and then they pierce you with a pass or a rotation. But we didn't bite. We stayed connected. And that connection was the story of the game. From the opening exchanges, City had the ball as usual, but here's the difference. They had it in areas that didn't really hurt us. They weren't slicing through the heart of us like they used to. They weren't getting those constant cutbacks and tap-ins. They weren't finding runners between the lines with freedom. We were happy to let them circulate the ball outside, and Carrick clearly set one rule. You can have it wide, but you will not play through the lines. And the way we defended proved it. We weren't chasing shadows. We weren't pressing like headless chickens. We identified triggers. and then we snapped into action. That kind of pressing is not emotional, it's coached over that 3 days. The next thing Carrick did was the selection, which was a chess move. He made a bold call by bringing in Mbuemo and having Benjamin Sesko sit out the starting 11. And you may have said, oh, how you drop a striker in a derby like this, but tactically it made sense. Because against City, it's not just about having a striker, it's about having runners. It's about having pace and intensity that threatens the space that City leave when they push their line up. Mbuemo gave United that constant behind energy. And that only changed how City defended us, because they couldn't just step into midfield comfortably anymore. City want 3 main things in matches like these. They want central progression to those midfield pockets. They want wide overloads to create cutbacks. And they want Haaland receiving early and attacking the box. United systematically remove those options. We block central areas by staying narrow, compact when City had it centrally. So there were no free turns between the lines. The wingers didn't panic. They delayed instead of diving in, except for Dalot that one time when I really think he should have been off. Haaland was isolated. He didn't find any friends or service around him. There wasn't the constant chaos and the broken structure. We kept them in front of us. And if you keep City in front of you, you cut off their oxygen. And as we started to grow, it started to look more like a derby, not just us surviving. You know, it was just a masterclass. Now, we created so many opportunities yesterday, right? Everything that City did wasn't working. They had 0 shots on target. And with that, we started becoming more and more confident, right? We weren't just sitting in a low block, just hoping. We were deliberately pacing our defensive structure and attacking at pace and speed and aggression. City looked like when they had the ball, they weren't even controlling the match. And that's the difference between possession and control. We weren't giving them the rhythm that they live off. Now, coming out for the second half, we didn't change our approach, and that's important because we looked so solid in the first 45. We had no reason to change the approach and the structure. We stayed disciplined. And the more disciplined we stayed, the more frustrated City became. Because they are used to opponents breaking, losing composure. That is where they feed off, especially with their possession. Our goal was a classic Manchester United counter-attack. It came from a defensive transition with us smelling blood, going straight down the pitch at pace. I used to coach, and I would often pull players off the pitch or in training when we had a transition, an attacking transition, right? And there is 2-3 players crying out to the player ahead of them to turn the ball back to them so they could catch up. And that used to drive me crazy. My philosophy is whoever has that ball in transition, you go full speed ahead at the defenders. Let your teammates catch up if they can. Your job is to catch up to the player with the ball. And this is exactly what we did yesterday on that defensive transition. Old Trafford erupted after that goal. Now, normally after you score against City, you get that 5 to 10 minutes where they just swarm you and throw everything at you. But we did not lose our heads. We didn't retreat into panic. We didn't start lumping it up every time. We stayed compact. We stayed brave. We continued to pick the right moments. And City struggled to build any real momentum because we didn't give them that chaos to feed on. The second goal, again, Carrick steps up. Because that change wasn't just about quality, it was about game management. Matthias Cunha plays a part, and Dargo, of course, finishes off. And when you see subs impacting a derby directly like this, it tells you that Carrick wasn't just lucky with the starting plan, he adjusted the game properly. And what can I say about that substitution? I've been bemoaning the fact that our substitutes do not impact the games all season. And finally, a substitution impacted the game because of how we structured. We handled this game, we saw it out, and City looked like a team completely out of ideas. That's not normal. And this is what happens when you remove their patterns. But if you zoom out to the bigger picture, because this wasn't just about beating Manchester City. This was Micheal Carrick's first match in charge and the immediate difference that he made. We looked organized, the press was purposeful, the block was compact, and when we attacked with intent. When a team changes its coach and improves instantly, that means the players were capable all along. I must admit, I was wrong about that. So far, let's see. And, it just really shows that we all just needed to be disciplined and organized and stop playing emotional football. When we have a plan and we have a structure, when we actually play like Manchester United, I don't even like saying that, right? We can cause a problem for any team. Well done. Well done to the boys. Well done to the coaching staff. Well done to Micheal Carrick. Well done to the supporters. Well done. And thank you. Thank you for this feeling that I haven't felt in forever. Now let's continue this progress and let's get back to that good old feeling of when Old Trafford rocked. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. Remember to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Help us to grow this platform and help us to expand our algorithm. Until next time, this is your host, Dav. We're out.